Construction industry leaders say tradies have been dudded by the Albanese government's overhaul of migration. Under the changes, overseas tradies will be able to enter through a lower tier pathway, but have not been included in the new highly skilled visa pathway. Joining me now live is Master Builders Australia CEO Denita Wawn. Denita, thank you for joining us. Were you blindsided by this decision?
Well, we, of course, were really impressed that the government has been focusing on skilled migration and looking at how we can resolve skills. So we were shocked to hear yesterday afternoon by the minister that we have to continue to prove there's a shortage. And I think everyone in Australia knows there is a shortage of tradies. The government's own data says that. But the thing that's been most disappointing is that they've created a three-tier system for skilled visas. The first tier is anyone who earns more than $135,000. But there's a caveat to that. They've got to be white-collar workers, and anyone who is a trade qualified person, whether they're in building and construction or mining, then they're into the second tier. We say that that is totally inconsistent with the government's own data, that we're the biggest needed trade and any of specialised skill to meet skill shortages in this country. So why are they differentiating between white collar and blue collar workers, and meaning that we've got to go through greater hoops to solve the issues around shortages in our sector?
And just on your point before, what do you make of the government seeming to be of the view that there's no real shortage of tradies to be able to justify fast-tracking workers in from overseas? I mean, how many skilled workers are you indeed short?
Well, we say we're short nearly 500,000 people over the next 3 to 5 years to meet the demands we've got on our sector, particularly in relation to the housing crisis. The minister has indicated that what she really meant was that we will have to continue to go through labour market testing to prove that we have got shortages. Now, we agree with the premise that you've got to look at each individual visa holder and make sure that they're appropriately qualified. But why would we need to prove that we've got shortages? That seems incredulous to us. We want to build more homes, we want to build more roads, and we want to build more schools and hospitals, but we need more workers. Now, of course, we've got to look at apprenticeship numbers, but nevertheless, we also need skilled migrants to assist us. So why not put us in that top category? We pay extraordinarily well. So why aren't we on that top category with white-collar workers?
And there's obviously ambitious housing targets across the board. We know the Albanese government has a target of 1.2 million new homes in the next 5 years. Given the changes that have been announced, how confident are you that these targets will actually be met?
Well, we've always been positive about trying to meet those targets, but we've actually also been realistically and said we need to ensure the environment's right. And we need skilled migration and a prioritisation of skilled migration. We thought we were heading in the right direction, but there's too many caveats that we're worried about. We want to make sure that we've got the right productivity and industrial relations system. And the reason why I'm in Brisbane today is we're holding briefings to our members around the problems with the IR laws that are being proposed to be debated in February, particularly for independent contractors. We need governments to resolve supply constraints. They've agreed to it, but we're seeing no action. So we're getting somewhat tired of being told that a lot of changes are going to be made to help us meet those targets. But at this stage, little is being done, and in many instances, more barriers are being put up. So we need to really restart discussions with government about if they really mean to meet these targets, then they've got to work with industry as opposed to constantly putting more barriers in place for us to get to where we need to be, and that is resolving housing for all Australians.
Yeah, it looks like you've got a fight on your hands there. Denita Wawn, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure as always.